Hey there, and welcome back to the Virtual Cafe for another coffee convo about business finances. I'm your host, Kerry Zarb, and I am joined by Kim White. We invite you to join us at our table with your favourite brew. Let's pull up our chairs and get into today's episode. Come on, let's go. It's coffee time. Hey, Kim.
Hey, Kerry.
It's so good to be back, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, it was a great break, but you know what? I missed you and
I missed you too, and I missed everyone. We all took a little vacay from the vacay on the vacay and the vacay, and it's so good to be back in the virtual cafe and back to talking about the beans. Yay!
Oh my goodness, I love the cafe, Kerry.
I know, it's pretty special, isn't it?
I feel special I get to be in the cafe. Can I say that?
Well, and you know what? I think that's the vibe it brings, Kim. A cafe, a virtual cafe especially, brings a special vibe. We get to have these awesome conversations. It's super relaxed, and we can be human, we can be ourselves, and we can bring amazing conversations and topics to those tuning in. I love it.
I love it too, Kerry.
And Kim, we've got a bit of a human conversation today that's going to kick off the year with a little bit of spiciness.
And you know, I love spicy.
I know, that's why I picked it. I thought, oh, Kim's going to love this one. And further to that, we want to really bring great things this season. Season 5 is just honestly going to bring you so many awesome conversations between Kim and I, because it's official. If you haven't tuned in, it's official. We're here. There's the two of us now. Look out, double trouble. Double trouble.
Definitely double trouble.
So, Kim, we're going to talk about bedside manners in finances.
That is definitely a spicy place to go kicking off this new season, Kerry.
I think so, but you know what? We're here out of pure respect. We're here for respect to the profession and the professionals in this space. Because, with all due respect to all the humans on the planet, we're all different. We're all so different. And I've said this before, Kim, you will remember me saying this. If every human on the planet was the same, man, it would be boring. It would be so boring. We need different individuals in this world with different personality traits and different, what do they call that? Like quirks and mannerisms and all the things. We want it all. We want it all.
We do want it all, Kerry. I think when you're talking about like professionals, sometimes they are taught to leave their humanness at the door, or their personalities, their quirkiness maybe. And that's what we relate to. You know, we relate to the human side of it especially if we're super relational.
Oh, yeah. And Kim, I also wonder, further to what you've just said, I wonder if they lose it in the system. Because think about this, when you do a degree, and I'm talking a really intense degree at university or college, wherever you live in the world and whatever you call it, when you do that level of education, it's got to bring an intenseness about it. Like, we're talking people that need to hyper-focus on this subject and like just live and breathe the numbers, the finances. We're talking complete number nerds, which I confess to all the time. You know me and my numbers and my spreadsheets. But we're talking analysing data. We're talking law. Finances bring so much legality into it as well. So I really do wonder if perhaps some people step into this world and choose this profession and change throughout the process, because that's got to be intense, right?
Oh my goodness, yes, Kerry. And, you know, there's a difference. I want to point this out because you love numbers. And the funny thing is I love numbers, but I don't want to do all of the analyzing. I want the end result so I can do that part of the analyzing. I don't like the process of getting the numbers. And I think there's a lot of humans who they may think they hate numbers, but maybe it's just the process they're using to get their numbers that may be what's intimidating or overwhelming or something along that line, because I look at numbers different than you do. Like, it takes different ways of looking at it to see the different bits of it.
And Kim, that's a really interesting point. Kim, do you need another coffee?
I do, Kerry.
Okay, why don't we just take a quick break, rest our voices, grab that other cup, and we'll be right back.
See you in a minute.
Do you find your finances confusing or overwhelming? Well, guess what? You're not alone. I'm Kerry Zarb and I am your financial designer. It's time to take away those sleepless nights, all the stress and pressure we feel from those flippin' digits. Finances can be hard. This is why your seat at my virtual cafe is reserved in the Biz Beans Club. Our gatherings are held on the third Monday of each month at 6 p.m. Central Time, and I'd love you to join us to ask questions, gain access to resources so that you can get in control of your business finances. This is where coffee meets money. Are you ready? What are you waiting for? It's time for you to be in the driver's seat of your finances. All you need to do is click the link in the show notes of this episode to join us in the Biz Beans Club. Oh, Kim, that feels better. What do you reckon?
Oh my goodness, Kerry, I can't wait to enjoy this cup of coffee with you.
Me too.
So what were we talking about, Kerry?
Oh, I'm not sure. Hang on. Oh, there it is. Because think of another profession. Let's throw an example on the table here. What about someone, and I picked this because it was one of those things, I think somewhere along my childhood I went, oh, marine biologist. Oh my goodness. There goes a fish. There goes another fish. And think about that. Think about how a marine biologist would look at an ocean of fish. And I'm not talking they're visually looking at the entire ocean, but they might be, here in Australia we have the Great Barrier Reef. So imagine a marine biologist going for a scuba dive along the Great Barrier Reef, and there's all these pockets of schools of fish. They would look at them so differently to what you and I would. We'd be like, oh, pretty, blue, oh, pink, oh, yellow. We'd be in awe of the colours and the wonder and the beauty. They're probably seeing so much more finer detail than what we are on the surface. Do you know what I mean?
So I'm going to go a little step farther than that, Kerry, and add to your analogy, because let me just tell you, I'd be the one in the boat looking down. I would not be in the fishy water. So that is another great example. Actually, you did really good, because some people are right down in the schools of fish, right down in the reef, right? They want in there. And then other people are kind of surface. And then some people like me, I have no desire to be in the water with fish. I do not want a fish touching me. Just true story, Kerry. That's how some people feel about their numbers. They want a hands off. They want to stay away from the numbers because they're scared of them, or they're overwhelmed with them, or whatever the reason. But people like you, Kerry, make it possible for people to learn and understand their numbers, because you answer questions for them, and you do it in such a way that even though you can nerd out, as you call it, on numbers, you still speak the language of us mere mortals. That's part of the good stuff.
And Kim, to that point, it's because I am a mere mortal as well. And I know, can you believe it? What?
No.
But it's true. And then further into this analogy, like you said, you're in the boat on the surface going, oh, and Kerry explained the whole scuba diver. Kerry is not that scuba diver, but I did use that as an example going down into the reef. However, and think of this as in today's topic of the bedside manner in finances, you are going to get such a combination of personalities and mannerisms that humans have in the finances as well. I've met some brilliant accountants. I've met people in that high level, high pressure place that are amazing. And then I've met others that you could picture them at a barbecue or a birthday party, just standing in the corner quite content eating their cake. Like, this is everywhere. Any party you go to, you've got that combination of people, not even in the professional space. So I think what I really wanted to bring out in this conversation, apart from some pretty fish and some barrier reefs, was let's give a chance. A lot of owners especially, and human individuals in the personal space, I hear it a lot. Oh my God, my accountant. Oh my God, my lawyer. Oh my God, this professional person. We get faceplant moments about those people in those professions. And I guess I'm kind of defending them a little bit, although I'm not in the same space as them by far. But look at the pressure. Look at the analysing that they have to do. Look at the education that they've gone through to get there. And I really kind of tying in the lawyers and the finance professionals together here, because an accountant needs to learn so many elements of law as well as keep up with it. It's not even that initial education that they've done, it's the continuing education that they have to do as well. So I got your back, accountants. I got your back.
And Kerry, another high pressure thing that I think about for them is the fact that when you find out someone is an accountant or an attorney or just a professional, all of a sudden you start getting people who you may know well and some who may be the outliers, I'll call them, but all of a sudden they want you to do things for free. And that's a different kind of pressure on them than what you're talking about now. But that is another real example of the pressure. They may go to a barbecue, like you said, or a party, and they can't enjoy it because somebody's asking them tax questions, or someone's asking them legal questions, or someone's saying, well, can't you just tell me this? Because the person asking usually understands only this little drop of, I need this one question answered. But it's not a simple question because it's related to so many other parts of the answer, or several laws impacted, or several rules for taxes. And so to also put some humanness on these professionals, that's a high pressure thing too, is if they are having to deal with that, maybe they put that boom gate, as you call it, up, or that firewall where they're not as friendly, because if they're friendly, people take advantage of them.
Kim, I've seen it. I've actually seen it. And although I struggle in those circumstances because I'm a, what do you call that? A bit of a social butterfly when it comes to a party and a barbecue. I can't help myself, but I do have moments where I'll sit quietly when I've got my little plate of food and whatever. However, I can see, because I've been approached like that at parties and barbecues just for what I do. So imagine what an accountant or a lawyer gets, like next level stuff. And they've just put on their Sunday best and they're going to relax and enjoy a bit of cake and yeah, I agree. So I've got one more thing for you, Kim, on this topic.
Yes, Kerry.
And it's still related to the high pressure, because we haven't long gone through the silly season.
Oh, no. And it's very recent.
It is. It feels like a blur because it was like last year. However, at the same time,
it was
so last year. Yeah. However, I was witness in my silly season analogy, and we've talked about that, but I was witness to my clients getting calls from someone. They'd placed an order with someone, or there was something that was outstanding, and they were getting calls from stressed people, stressed individuals, actually, like, and the message would read, oh, I got a really rude call from so-and-so from such and such because they need to know about X, Y, Z, yada, yada. And I would pick up the phone to this person and have a wonderful conversation and say, oh, just a bit of feedback for you. The message came through that you were a little bit kind of stressed and under the pump. Oh, I'm sorry I sounded like that. Yeah, I'm trying to juggle all these things. We're in the last week before Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, there's those circumstances. On the flip side, when we're in those high pressure environments, as individuals, we don't even perhaps recognize how we're behaving. So it kind of ties into this bedside manner a little bit, Kim, don't you think?
Oh, I think so. I think whenever you meet someone and you don't know them well, like if you were short with me, Kerry, I would know instantly it wasn't about me. It was something going on. Like I wouldn't automatically assume you were mad at me.
Yeah.
Because we have a close relationship. When you don't know someone and they get sharp with you or short with you, it can feel like it's personal. It can
Yes.
feel like it's just them being that way to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a quote, I'll probably misquote it, just saying, but I think there's a thing that everybody's fighting a battle. So you don't know what call they had just before you talk to them, or you don't know what kind of pressure they're under from their business or from their partner or from their, like, whatever it is, you don't know. And to assume that they are just someone that's not a good human, I feel like that's across the board. I don't think that's just one person or one industry. I think we should be that way with everyone.
Oh, absolutely, Kim, and I agree, because you're right. Picture your accountant getting off the phone with the tax office, going to bat for the previous client and trying to get their interest reversed and get their fines reversed and all those nasty things that they would be dealing with for their client. They're going to bat for their clients. And you don't know if that just happened. It could be significant that they're in that high pressure situation from a client trying to assist a client. And here the tax officers are quite easy to speak with. That may not be in every country, and that may not be under every circumstance. So I love that you brought that into the conversation, Kim. We don't know. We don't know what just happened in any aspect, professionally or personally. So that's brilliant.
And wearing our feelings on our sleeves, and I know this is about finances, but I feel like this still follows under the bedside manner, is wearing our feelings on our sleeve and taking it personal anytime anyone's not super friendly or super accommodating or whatever. I think it's immature on our part.
I think you're right, Kim. I think key takeaway from this conversation is just have a think. It's easy to judge. We're all humans and we lay judgment so quickly. Guilty over here, 100%. However, sometimes we need to stop, take a breath, reflect on what just happened, and think beyond what just happened. Like you're saying, Kim, take the human out of it for a moment. And maybe we need to get a bit thicker skin sometimes, a little bit. And roll with it. So another takeaway, again, let's go back to think of all the humans and all the pressure and everything that everyone is under, and curveballs thrown left, right and centre at us all the time. So I wanted to bring this conversation to everyone to think beyond that bedside manner.
I love it, Kerry. Thank you for having these kind of conversations so people don't get discouraged.
Thank you for being here, Kim. It's been great. We will see everyone next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us in the Virtual Cafe. You can follow the show to be notified of future episodes, and if you're enjoying this podcast, we encourage you to leave a rating or personal review. Until next time, happy biz beans to you. No beans were harmed during the production of this podcast. Information contained in this podcast should be taken as general advice only, and your personal circumstances have not been taken into account. It is recommended that you seek financial advice from a professional who is licensed to do so. If you choose to act upon the general advice shared, you do so at your own